As the weather continues to get cooler, you may be turning your attention to your inside plants.
Yes, earlier Sarah Simmons caught up with garden expert Derek Thomas to talk about violets.
They are a bit elusive, and people see them at the garden center and tend to pass on because they look so delicate, and they're always, you know, they have these wonderful blooms. African violets are actually quite easy to take care of if you know what you're doing. The biggest thing that you want to do when you have a violet, this is the crown of the violet where all of the leaves and the flowers come out of. You do not want to ever water directly into the crown because that could actually kill the plant. The other thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is you should set your water out overnight to let a lot of that extra chlorine get out of the water. Use a tray when watering, and what you'll end up with is a beautiful violet like this. You know, there's some really straightforward things that are going to keep the plant healthy. This is a younger plant here. What you want to do is you want to be any of the leaves that have gotten old, you want to make sure that you're removing that so that you're taking off all of the old growth. And when the flowers start to fade, what I like to do is make sure you look in there and try not to damage the plant when you're doing it, but just pinch that out. Okay? There's a couple of flowers that hadn't quite finished, but for the most part it was done. And what that prevents the plant from doing is actually these flowers starting to rot on these leaves. So you want to go ahead and get that out of there.
Is that an issue for a lot of other blooming kind of plants too?
A lot of other blooming type of plants, their flowers, once they're done, end up rotting on their leaves. So you want to make sure that you get any of that old growth out of there. Now, if you want to make new plants, there's a great way to do it with African violets. It's easy as can be. This is a container that's filled with water. What I've done is I've taken just regular aluminum foil. You want to start off with a healthy leaf. You want to cut a little slit into that container. And then let's take one off of the purple. You go in there. You make a fresh cut. Make sure that your scissors are clean. Take it. Sink that straight down in there. Make sure that the stem is actually in the water. Sit that in a sunny windowsill, and in a couple of weeks you'll have roots. You can pot that up, and you'll have new African violets.
It'll look like that. How long will it take it to look?
It takes it, you know, several months to become a plant about this size. Now, the other thing that people get a little bit skittish about with African violets is repotting. They're very easy, and I wanted to show you that quickly. We've got a commercial grower's pot here. What I like to do is take just a piece of paper towel, stick it in there to cover up that hole, and what that's going to do is it's going to give us time while the plant is rooting in so that you're not losing the soil. Take the plant out of the pot that it was growing in, take some commercial African violet potting soil, fill that in. You want to make sure that you're putting it in at the level that it was growing at, so right about there. Then you can take and fill in the rest of the sides. Once you get the sides filled in, make sure that you press that down, and you will have an African violet like this one within several months.
Okay, and the other thing is too, also you mentioned sunlight. Make sure it's in sunlight but not direct sunlight.
Make sure that it's in strong, indirect sunlight.
Okay, Derek Thomas, thanks so much for coming in today. We appreciate it. Back to you guys.
Sarah, thank you.
Good stuff. The answer to today's trivia question.